I talk to a lot of folks who say, I used to walk every day, but now my knees don't quite agree with that plan. Or, I wish I could stay active, but walking just doesn't feel the same anymore. And if that sounds familiar to you, let me tell you, you're not alone. As we get older, our bodies change. And the things that used to come easy, like long walks around the block or hiking with friends, might not be as comfortable anymore. But here's the good news. Staying active doesn't have to mean walking 5 miles a day. In fact, if walking isn't working for you anymore, there are other things you can do that are just as effective, maybe even more so, for your health, your energy, and your peace of mind. That's exactly what we're diving into in today's video. If you're over 60 and looking for ways to keep your body moving and your spirits high without having to rely on walking, I've got 4 simple things you can start doing today. They're gentle, practical, and they work with your body, not against it. And the best part? You don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership. Just a little time, a little curiosity, and maybe a chair or two. Now let's start with the first one, something that surprises a lot of people, but makes a huge difference once you start doing it. It's something I call intentional stretching, but don't worry, we're not talking about yoga poses that twist you into a pretzel. This is all about gentle, slow movements that keep your joints happy and your muscles relaxed. Let me ask you, have you ever noticed how stiff your back feels after sitting for a while? Or how your shoulders tighten up after watching TV or reading? That's your body's way of saying, hey, I need a little movement here. Stretching is one of the best ways to keep your body loose and pain-free, especially if walking isn't part of your daily routine anymore. But I'm not just talking about bending over to touch your toes and calling it a day. I mean a few minutes, maybe twice a day, of really tuning in to how your body feels. Start by sitting in a sturdy chair, feet flat on the floor. Roll your shoulders back slowly, nice and easy, no rush. Then bring your arms up gently over your head and take a deep breath. Feel that stretch down your sides? That's exactly what we want. It wakes up the muscles that get tight when we're still for too long. And it's not just about flexibility. Stretching like this improves circulation. That means more oxygen going to your brain, your muscles, even your skin. It helps with balance too, which becomes more and more important the older we get. One of the biggest concerns I hear from people over 60 is about falling. And honestly, I get it. Falls are no joke. But something as simple as regular stretching can actually reduce that risk because it keeps you aware of your body and improves your ability to respond if you start to feel off balance. Now, if you're thinking, well, I'm not very flexible, let me reassure you. This isn't about being flexible. It's about getting a little more comfortable in your own skin every day. No one's handing out medals for touching your toes or twisting into a pretzel. This is about feeling better when you wake up. It's about being able to reach that top shelf, tie your shoes, or carry in the groceries without wincing. One thing I recommend is tying your stretching to something you already do, like stretching while waiting for the kettle to boil or after brushing your teeth. That way it becomes part of your routine, and you won't even have to think twice about it. And if you find a few stretches that feel really good, stick with those. You don't need a whole routine to get started, just a few movements that help you feel more limber and alive. And just a quick tip, breathe while you stretch. I know that sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how often we hold our breath when we're concentrating or trying something new. Take slow, deep breaths. It helps your muscles relax and sends a signal to your brain that you're safe and in control. So whether you're stretching while watching your favorite show or just taking 5 minutes after breakfast, this small habit can create big changes over time. Your body will feel more open, your joints will thank you, and your mood? Let's just say there's something about slow, mindful movement that lifts your spirits, even on a cloudy day. All right, now that we've stretched things out a little, literally and figuratively, let's move on to the next thing you can do to stay active and energized, even if walking isn't your go-to anymore. So we've talked about stretching, simple, intentional movements that keep your joints happy and your muscles loose. It's such a powerful habit, especially when it becomes part of your daily rhythm. But let's say you've started that, and you're ready to take the next step. Maybe you're thinking, I still want to feel strong, like I can carry my groceries or lift my grandkids. That brings us to the next thing I really want to encourage you to try: resistance exercises. Now, before you picture bodybuilders or heavy gym equipment, let me stop you right there. That's not what this is about. Resistance training can be incredibly gentle, and believe it or not, it can even be done sitting down. The idea is simple. We're using a little bit of resistance, whether that's from your own body weight, light hand weights, or even resistance bands to gently build muscle and maintain strength. Why is this so important after 60? Well, as we age, we naturally start to lose muscle mass. It's something called sarcopenia. Nothing to be scared of, just the body doing its thing. But if we don't challenge our muscles even a little, that process speeds up. And that's when we start noticing it's harder to get out of a chair, lift things, or even keep our balance. The good news is, just a few minutes a day of light resistance training can slow that process way down, and in many cases, reverse it a bit. Think about it like this. Your muscles are like batteries. If you never use them, they lose their charge. But if you give them even a little regular use, they stay strong and ready when you need them. One of my favorite exercises for this is something you can do while sitting down. Sit tall in your chair and press your hands together in front of your chest. Just press, like you're holding a balloon between your palms. You'll feel your chest, shoulders, and even your arms start to engage. Hold that for a few seconds, then release. It's simple but surprisingly effective. And if you want to challenge yourself a little more, try holding small water bottles or cans of soup while doing slow, controlled arm lifts. No need for fancy weights. Your kitchen has all the tools you need. And if standing exercises feel safe for you, doing a few gentle squats, just standing up and sitting down in a chair without using your hands, can be a game changer. It keeps your legs strong, helps your balance, and even gives your heart a little boost. What I love about resistance exercises is how empowering they feel. When you start to notice it's easier to carry the laundry, or your arms don't get as tired holding the phone or stirring a pot of soup, that's real progress. That's strength you can feel in everyday life. And that sense of capability, it builds confidence. It reminds you that you're not done growing, not done building. There's still plenty of life left in those muscles. And here's a little bonus. Resistance training doesn't just help your body, it helps your bones too. It supports bone density, which means it lowers your risk of fractures or osteoporosis-related issues. And it even supports your metabolism. So if you've noticed it's harder to maintain your weight these days, light strength exercises can actually help your body use energy more efficiently. It's amazing how something so small, 5 or 10 minutes a day, can give you such a big return. You don't need to break a sweat or push yourself to the limit. Just consistent, gentle movement that tells your body, hey, we're still in this. We're not slowing down just yet. So maybe tomorrow morning, while you're waiting for your coffee or tea, you try a few of those palm presses. Or lift those soup cans while watching the evening news. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. And over time, you'll start to notice the difference. Not just in your strength, but in your energy, your posture, and the way you carry yourself. Now that we've talked about stretching and building strength with some resistance, let's look at something a little different. It's one of my personal favorites because it's not just good for your body, it's wonderful for your mind too. It brings a sense of calm and focus, and honestly, we could all use a little more of that in our day. We're going to explore that next. So far, we've looked at stretching to stay limber and resistance exercises to keep our muscles strong and ready for everyday life. But movement isn't just about strength or flexibility. It's also about connection, balance, and perhaps most importantly, peace of mind. That's where this next activity comes in. It's one of those practices that might not look like much from the outside, but once you try it, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. Let's talk about mindful movement. Things like Tai Chi, gentle dance, or slow-flowing routines you might do along with music in your living room. Now, I know some people hear Tai Chi and picture long robes or complicated routines in a park somewhere, but really it's just slow, intentional movements done with a calm, steady breath. You don't need to know all the traditional steps or poses. You just need to move with awareness in a way that feels good to you. And here's the beautiful thing about mindful movement. It does wonders for your balance. When you move slowly and deliberately, your brain and your body start working together in a different way. You become more aware of your center of gravity, how your feet are planted, how your arms move in space. That awareness, it's like a secret weapon against falls. It trains your body to stay steady, even when the ground or life gets a little shaky. But there's more to it than just the physical. This kind of movement has a way of calming the nervous system. It's almost meditative, but without needing to sit still or empty your mind completely. You're simply moving through space with focus and ease. That alone can lower stress, reduce anxiety, and even help with sleep. And let's be honest, there are some nights when a good night's sleep feels like winning the lottery. You don't need a class or special training to get started. Put on some soft instrumental music or even a calming playlist you enjoy, stand in a clear space, and let your arms sway gently from side to side. Shift your weight slowly from one foot to the other. Reach up toward the ceiling, then lower your arms slowly like you're moving through water. Keep your knees soft and your breath slow. That's it. You're doing it. And if you feel a little silly at first, that's okay. Most people do. But give it 5 minutes. You'll feel your shoulders soften, your breathing slow, and your thoughts quiet down just a little. That's the magic of it. You're not just exercising your body, you're giving your mind a rest. In a world that's constantly pulling our attention in every direction, that kind of movement becomes a kind of quiet rebellion, a moment that's all yours. What I love most is that this can become a daily ritual. Maybe it's how you start your morning, with a few minutes of peaceful movement instead of jumping right into the day. Or maybe it's how you unwind in the evening, with gentle swaying and slow steps as the sun goes down. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The goal isn't to perform, it's to feel. Feel your feet under you. Feel the air around you. Feel your body move without pressure or pain. You can even make it more fun by doing it with a friend, a partner, or even a grandchild. Movement like this has no age limit. It's something that brings generations together. And when you do it regularly, you'll start noticing something beautiful. You're more centered, more aware, and more at ease in your own skin. So if you've been feeling disconnected from your body, or even from the present moment, mindful movement might be just the thing to bring you back. It's gentle, it's grounding, and best of all, it's yours. You can do it anytime, anywhere. No equipment, no rules, just movement that feels good. Now we've stretched, we've strengthened, and we've reconnected through mindful motion. That's a pretty powerful trio. But there's still one more thing I want to share with you. Something a lot of people overlook, but that plays a huge role in keeping us active and well as we age. It's not about how we move, but how we support our bodies when we're not moving. Because believe it or not, rest and recovery are just as important as exercise. And sometimes how we rest can be more active than it sounds. We'll get into that in just a moment. You've made it this far, and I hope you're starting to feel inspired. Not just about staying active, but about doing it in a way that works for you. We've talked about stretching to stay loose, resistance training to stay strong, and mindful movement to stay balanced and grounded. But now let's talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough credit: restorative rest. Now I know what you might be thinking. Rest? But I thought this video was about moving more, not less. And you're right. But here's the thing: movement and rest aren't opposites. They're partners. They work together to keep your body healthy, your mind clear, and your energy steady. And after the age of 60, how you rest becomes just as important as how you move. Think about it like charging a phone. You can have all the latest apps and features, but if the battery's dead, it's not going to do you much good. Your body's the same way. Without real restorative rest, all that movement, no matter how gentle or consistent, won't have the same effect. Your muscles need time to recover. Your joints need time to decompress. And your mind, it needs time to slow down and reset. But here's the twist. I'm not just talking about sleep, though getting quality sleep each night is absolutely essential. I'm also talking about active recovery. Things like lying on the floor with your legs propped up on a chair to take pressure off your lower back, or using a heating pad after your stretching session to soothe any tight spots. Even something as simple as sitting quietly with your eyes closed for 5 minutes while you focus on your breathing, that's rest too. And if you've ever tried guided relaxation or listened to soft music while imagining yourself in a peaceful place, you know how powerful that kind of mental rest can be. It resets your nervous system, it lowers blood pressure, it even helps your digestion. When we're constantly on, even in retirement, our bodies don't get the chance to really settle. One thing I always suggest is creating a little rest corner in your home. Nothing fancy, just a comfy chair, maybe a soft blanket, a book you love, or music that brings you calm. A place where you go not to nap or zone out, but to unwind with intention. It might only be 10 or 15 minutes a day, but if you give yourself that space, you'll notice how your energy shifts. You'll stand up a little straighter, move a little easier, think a little more clearly. And let's be honest, after 60, life sometimes throws us curveballs. A little ache here, a little less energy there. Rest helps us bounce back. It helps us stay in the game, instead of sitting on the sidelines. It's not lazy, it's smart. And when you pair smart rest with the other habits we've talked about, you give yourself the best possible foundation for healthy, vibrant aging. So if walking doesn't feel like the best option for you anymore, remember, you've got other ways to stay active and engaged. You can stretch your body and your breath each morning. You can build strength with small, consistent movements. You can flow through gentle routines that ground your mind and body. And you can honor your need for rest, not as a weakness, but as a vital part of your routine. Getting older doesn't mean slowing down. It means moving differently, more wisely, and more intentionally. It's about finding joy in movement that feels good, not punishing. It's about waking up each day with a sense of, yes, I can. Not because you're doing what you used to, but because you're discovering what works for you now. And if you're sitting there thinking, maybe I could try that tomorrow, I want to say, yes. Yes, you absolutely can. Start small, stay curious, be kind to your body. You've come a long way, and there's still so much more ahead. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you left a comment below. Tell me which of these habits you're excited to try first, or even share something that's already working for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you'd like more content just like this. We're building a community here, one where movement is joyful, rest is respected, and aging is something we do together, with grace, with humor, and with heart. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.